In today's video, I'm going to go over a new style that I have been developing. So far, there's only two styles that are based on the Tao Te Ching, and that is Tai Chi and, to a degree, Bagua. They're both internal arts, and the art that I'm developing is also an internal art. It's based off the three sister forms, so it also utilizes some Xingyi, but more importantly, it takes into account the philosophy of Taoism. So let me show you a couple things first before we get into that. It's kind of like a sneak preview of the martial art that I'm trying to develop and synthesize across all the styles that I do. That has been my task for the last 3 years, and I intend on finishing it in Aokigahara. So let me first show you exactly how people tend to have a fighting stance. So when people fight, they often square themselves forward. That's not what you really want to do, but my style actually takes that into account. It has no name yet. I'm still trying to figure it out. My friend Mario calls it Alex Kwando, but I don't think that does it justice. So the best way you can have a fighting stance is to angle your body and limit this. You want to basically, you don't want your main organs to be in front, so you want to avoid that and turn it. Really, when I'm like this, the only thing that's open is this vital area, and that's rather hard for them to hit. However, when people have a fighting stance, they tend to leave the bottom open, and I don't particularly like leaving myself open. So what I did is I developed a style that basically follows the diagram of the Tao Te Ching. So, first you step forward, angling your body this way. You take your arm, you place it here, and the other arm here. You can extend it as far down as basically your knee, but it's really better for you to curve it here. So as you can see, we have yin and we have yang. This style works very well for protecting yourself. If you'll notice, if someone had a hand coming at my face, all I have to do is this, and then yang. So block and redirect is the yin, the strike is the yang of it. So once again, follow the pattern of Tao Te Ching. You always want to protect yourself. Now I'm squaring myself, which is not how this works. It's actually turned here. The full style and stance in this is this. Now if you'll notice, there is almost no way to find a vulnerable spot for me except here, but even then, boom. Now, one of the criticisms I get is that you're on one leg and you can be pushed back. Well, let me show you why that doesn't actually work. Bam. Now, unfortunately, these jeans are a little bit tight, so I can't really kick above the waist. That's why you shouldn't buy jeans that are like that. But this is actually a two-part video, so I'm going to go upstairs. I'm going to show you with a door how you can block with this. Block and redirect. So, bear with me. Okay, so, sorry for the interruption, but here's the part 2 of the video. You don't really need to see my legs because nothing's going to really happen. So, alright, I'll show you how to block with your legs also concerning this, but you really don't need to worry about that until you're at a more advanced level. Now, I call this stance that I showed you earlier a Shishi stance, which means lion dog, because one of the styles that I practice is called Shishi Bagua. It's a very good style. It uses lion-style techniques combined with ground leg kicks, which is very rare for Bagua. They don't usually kick whatsoever. But let me show you how this operates. So, once again, we're with screening the door, the training partner. And let me just close this so I'm not bothering anybody. Now, let's say I have a strike coming at me, and I'm in my stance. Okay. So I have a fist coming at my head. It's going to smack me. Deflection. Now, this style you do not usually block. If you block, it's going to be a hit. You're going to hit them as they hit you. It's open hand because you're going to be using palm strikes, so you can do the iron palm and live hands. But watch. You'll note that I'm using the motion of Tao Te Ching to use it in a fight. This is a very effective style. So let's say that I'm here and the fist is about to happen. Watch what happens when you have your hand here. It doesn't take much motion for you to actually move something. When a fist is coming at you, you literally just have to do this, and the fist will be redirected away from you because it's a straight line. Now, when you do that, it's going to cause a curve and they're going to turn. So, bam. So, and luckily, this is a tough door, so it's not going to break. The key to this style is redirection. And you'll notice that as I do it, I'm turning and torquing my arm. It's a very fast style. So that's what I have to emphasize, is in a Tao Te Ching, you have yin and yang. Sometimes it's reversed with the two spots that share it. Now, when your hands are in position, and you have a strike coming at you, this is when the Wing Chun element of the straight line of the center line becomes very important, because as you open them up, you can strike them there. And you don't have to do Wing Chun. You can actually do that special kind of punch I told you guys about earlier, where you come in and out and over. It's a very powerful punch, especially if you're hip. So this style actually combines pretty much almost all of the martial arts styles that I've ever trained in, from Shotokan with limited, to Taekwondo for 20 years, to Muay Thai for 8, to Krav Maga for the last 8. So, I'm sorry, for the last 10 for Krav Maga. I was very fortunate that some military people showed me how to do some things IDF style, and then over time I began to understand. So the style also works well with an elbow. Now, if you're going to block with a kick, let me show you how, and how to do it safely. This style has a lot of interesting things. So, let's say that I'm in this style. Boom. Redirected. So, I have to emphasize that this style redirects. It does not block. Furthermore, it uses the iron palm, it uses live hands, and it combines a whole lot of different styles. You have to keep in mind that this is actually a kind of religious style, because it actually takes into account the Tao Te Ching, in the same sense that Tai Chi Chuan, better known as Tai Chi, is used as a religious exercise. So, screening's okay, but let me show you one last trick with this style. So let's say this fist has come. It's coming at me. I know where it's going to go because they telegraphed, or I at least have the common sense to know that they're aiming for me instead of the air. Some people actually throw techniques out like a fish, I call it, and it's like a floppy thing in the air and it misses every time. You can literally just stand there and just watch it miss. So let's say that this is the fist, the door handle. What you're doing is you're placing your elbow on it, pushing it down or to the side, and then it makes it very interesting. And I've always been told that you don't want to catch a fist, but it's doable. And furthermore, what this style does is it takes into account some Krav Maga moves that are very vicious. For example, let's say this is their hand, like their knuckles. As they're striking, break the hand. This style is very brutal. It takes into account a type of move that I should really not talk about because this is kind of my trademark, called fracture points. We have a respiratory, a circulatory, we have bones, we have a digestive. Now there are points on the body where all of these systems mesh together. There's one here, there's one here. If you hit here, it will totally collapse that side of the body and make it totally numb and they can't use it. But these fracture points, when you strike them, cause all of the systems that we have in our body to completely collapse at the same time. It's a very dangerous move. I'm not going to teach you how to apply it because frankly you could kill someone with it very easily. A lot of people think that there are these mythical techniques that are super powerful, but the fact of the matter is some of these do exist. And while fiction has grossly exaggerated them, such as in Kill Bill with the 5-palm heart technique, there are some that do exist that I am not comfortable teaching, but I have learned them. You need to study acupuncture, you need to study what systems are in the body, you need to study where the bones are, you need to study anatomy, you need to study how to heal yourself if you're injured, and how to heal a person if you've hurt them. The recovery position is one example. This style can be very dangerous because you're also going to be moving at a speed around 6 to 7 strikes per second. And additionally, it takes into account simul striking. Simul striking, most people when they fight, it's 2, 3, 4, 5, and you know, so on and so forth. One at a time. A, B, C, D. The fact of the matter is, you can do this. A and B at the same time. In fact, let me hack these up. You can do even 3 strikes at the same time. And you can see that at every single point you're striking. Now, this style takes into account the lower body region. Right here you have 2 very sensitive areas. If you clip someone here, you're going to knock them over. If you hit them hard enough, you're going to break the knee. So what this style does is it strikes to the head, clears the body, and strikes. You're going all over the place with it. And that's what makes it so dangerous for the other person. They have no idea what's coming, you're going at an incredible speed, and you're striking so hard you can break bones. And on top of that, you're hitting them in pressure areas that they just can't handle. No one can take a punch to the temple. Just saying. Now maybe if they're like 8 feet tall like Shaq, they might be not as phased as you'd think. But I assure you that the fracture point system works. I've been developing it for the last 3 years, so please be careful. Please. Now, this style is based on Taoism, which is my religion. I'm a Chan Buddhist, Mahayana. Now, Chan comes from India, and it's actually better known as Zen because the Japanese popularized it when it came to America. So keep in mind how this works, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video.